Hello, welcome back to my channel. So, I'm reading Smart Money Woman by our favorite Arese. So, we are currently in chapter 7, and in the last chapter, we're introduced to our boy crush, our man crush. Sorry, that's definitely a man's shoulder that we're also going to be in love with. So, yeah, and we also saw Zuri. Go to Benin to see her mom. Yes, and we learned about insurance, how it's important. So yeah, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Please, please, please. Yes, so let's get to the reading. So I might be a little pumped this night, yes, because I'm just coming from TikTok and then the whole drama with Selena and Haley Baldwin. She's not Haley Beaver as far as I'm concerned. It's giving me life. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be a hater. So, to chapter 7. Yes. Chapter 7. The spending plan. Have you finished eating? Zuri's mother asked as she walked past the living room and beckoned to Osasu. The young girl who helped to look after Auntie Uwa's house, to take the dishes to the kitchen. Yes, mommy, thank you, Zuri replied with a satisfied smile. Her mother knew her well. One of the first things she had to eat when she got to town was oguraligo. Hey, oguraligo, a popular dish from a local mama put on Oba Market Road near Siluko Junction in Benin City. It was basically perfumed rice and stew, but everything from its spicy aroma to its unique flavor put it above any other version of rice and stew as far as Zuri was concerned. It was legendary Benin delicacy. As Zuri lay sprawled on the sofa, drifting in and out of her food coma, she heard footsteps approaching. Auntie Uwa was still away on a trip, so it sounded like her mother had guessed. She prayed they would go into the other room or stay in the kitchen, but she knew that was just wishful thinking. Despite the fact that her mother knew she would prefer to be left alone with her thoughts, she wouldn't be able to resist showing off her daughter from Lagos to whomever the visitor was. As the voices got closer, Zuri opened one eye to get a glimpse of who had come to visit. Oh no, it's Auntie Grace, mom's friend from her days selling fabric in New Benin Market. She can talk for hours. Zuri, wouldn't you get up and greet Auntie Grace? Her mother said, giving her a "you better respect your elders" look. Good afternoon, Auntie. It's been a while. How are your kids? Zuri said, struggling to remember their names. They are doing very well, oh. Peter lives in Germany, now with wife and 2 children. And Abigail is happily married with 2 children and another one on the way. I will soon have 5 grandchildren. Oh please, such an achievement. Abigail lives in Lagos, you know. You should get in touch with her. Maybe she can introduce you to someone. Her husband has many eligible friends that are ready to get married. Have you found someone to marry you now? No, not yet, ma, Zuri said with a forced smile. This was one thing she didn't miss about being in Benin. She would be dodging marriage questions all weekend. Sensing Zuri's growing discomfort, her mother began to cough. Her patented move. Okay, it wasn't spelled correctly, so don't blame me. Don't blame me at all. Her pathetic move to shut down any pathetic. It wasn't pathetic, but please let's ignore that word. Shut down any and all questionable conversations. Zuri, please go to the kitchen and get me some water to drink. Grace, what would you like to drink? Okay, sorry, I paused for a second because I couldn't get over that word. So it's patented and it means something apparent or something clear. So yes, I'll go over it again. Her mother began to cough. Her patented moved to shut down any and all questionable conversation. Zuri, please go to the kitchen and get me some water to drink. Grace, what would you like to drink? My sister, that is it oh. Now so we see these customs people just want to put someone out of business. Zuri heard as she walked back into the living room with refreshments. Can't that your agent handle it? I thought he was well connected at the port. Zuri's mom said. You mean Christopher? All the rules at the port have changed since they did that restructuring. They have sacked all the ogas that he knows there. So he's useless to me right now. I'm using one young guy, but the money he's charging me to clear the goods is more than I bargained for. Zuri pretended not to eavesdrop. PHCN had taken light, and she made a big show of drifting around the room, drawing the curtains and opening up the windows so that the cool breeze could rescue them from the beginning of the oppressive heat. She could already tell where the conversation was going. She had witnessed the same exchange countless times. Today it was Auntie Grace, other times it was relatives or supposed close friends. But regardless of who it was, the modus operandi was the same. They would start by regaling. My English today is pathetic. They would start by regaling Zuri's mom with a tale of misfortune. Although the stories varied from problems with paying children's school fees abroad to medical bills or a sudden calamity that had befallen their business, the motive was always the same. She was their only hope and they needed her to lend them money. In Zuri's experience, there were loans that were never repaid. In true form, Auntie Grace quickly got to the point of why she had paid them a visit. Mama Osaho, I know times are hard for everyone, but I'm hoping you will lend me some money to clear this good. I already have customers that are willing to buy as soon as the fabric arrives. I will pay you back as soon as I sell. As Auntie Grace started sniffling, it became more difficult for Zuri to pretend that she wasn't listening to their conversation. Zuri, go and help Osasu in the kitchen with your ogbono. Tell her we will have it with pounded yam for dinner. Zuri's mom commanded as she consoled Auntie Grace. Zuri knew this was only a ploy to get her out of the room, so she wouldn't be there to witness her mom offer Auntie Grace money she did not have. As she walked to the kitchen, she couldn't help but wonder why her mom always did this. She had a habit of taking on everyone's problems at the expense of her own. She had done this since they were young, but it became disruptive after their father died and the family had to rely on one source of income instead of two. Zuri's mother was very industrious. Even though her husband made decent money as a civil servant, her income from buying and selling everything from fabrics to gold jewelry did a lot to supplement the family's income. However, as she grew older, Zuri realized with displeasure that she really didn't have any asset, despite the fact that she had spent the better part of her life working really hard. In fact, Zuri didn't know many women from that generation that worked harder than her mother. But because over time she became everybody's big auntie, their go-to person for handouts, she never had anything left to save or invest. Besides the house her father left, her mother had no other assets. She got a small stipend from her late husband's pension, which was supplemented by the money Zuri's brother sent from time to time. But for the most part, she was struggling in retirement and it was hard to watch. Zuri watched from the kitchen window as her mother escorted Auntie Grace to her car. She could tell from the exchange that her mother had agreed to give the woman money. "Why are you doing your face like that? You have come Vobokin." She spoke Benin. Her mother asked. "Mommy, you are asking me what?" Okay, it's what in Benin. Whatever that is. "Mommy, you're asking me what? You know what already. You have given the woman the money Ostahon sent you to help prepare the house," Zuri admonished, even though she knew she wasn't going to get a direct answer. "Did I tell you that? Please keep quiet. You think you know everything. Besides, it's just a loan. I didn't dash her. She will pay me back." They both knew that this was a lie. "Here you go again," Zuri said as she rolled her eyes. "Mommy, we both know she's not going to pay you back. Has she paid you back the last money she borrowed for her daughter's wedding?" Now, wow. Auntie Grace, my friend, mind your business. It's good to help people when they are in need. It can happen to anyone. Besides, that's why God is always blessing me and looks after my children for me. Okay, Mommy, let me ask you something. It's good to help people in need, right? But this woman had your house almost burnt down, but she couldn't even be bothered to ask about you or how you were going to fix your house. What kind of person does that?" Zuri fumed. Her mother walked out of the room. Zuri couldn't help but feel angry. Angry with her mother because she felt she should know better. Auntie Grace was never going to pay her back. Angry with herself because she knew she didn't change her money habits. This could be her life when she turned 62. I'll bet for different reasons. Full stop. "Hey girl, are you back to Lagos?" Lara had called as soon as she touched down. "Yes, love. How are you?" Zuri replied. "I'm fine, no. I just got off work. Let's hang out now. I'm in VI. Come and meet me at RSVP. With which money? How many times have I told you my pockets are empty?" "Okay, madam. Just come. I'll pay. Today was stressful. Need to let some steam off before I go home to face my mama's wahala. I'll see you in 20 minutes if traffic doesn't kill us here." Zuri spotted Lara as soon as she walked in, waving to get her attention. She was sitting at a table by the window in the back of the room. As Zuri walked towards Lara's table, she recognized a familiar face. Tishala. He was having dinner with 3 others, and Zuri hesitated, unsure if she should interrupt their conversation or avoid their table altogether. As she struggled to make a decision, his eyes caught hers. He was smiling, so she decided to walk over to say hello. "Hi, how are you?" he asked, as he stood up and kissed her on both cheeks and introduced her to the rest of the party. "What brings you here?" She gestured in Lara's direction. "Lunch with a friend." They chatted for a few minutes. "Okay, let me let you get to it. We would catch up soon," he said with a smile. "Good seeing you again." Those smiles are just causing all sorts of confusion in my life. "Who was that?" Lara asked slyly. "Oh, him. Just a guy I met at work," Zuri said, trying to sound casual. "Just a guy, care. You are flirting like no tomorrow." "You are not serious. Are you crushing on him? Does he work in your office? Is he toasting you? Spill now." "Yes. No. I don't know." She hoped it would stop Lara from continuing her inquisition. Lara crossed her hand and waited. All right. He was on my flight to Benin, and we had a really good conversation. Actually, he was surprisingly easy to talk to, and we connected about some really deep stuff. But then he didn't ask for me. He didn't ask me for my number or try to contact me. That was weeks ago, so I figured That was a week ago, so I figured he was just being polite. Oh, Jerry. Anyway, he gave me some really good advice about money. Zuri rushed out, then continued to relay the whole saga behind their chance meeting. Wait, let me get this straight. You told a cute guy you just met that you are broke, and now you are wondering why he didn't ask for your number. I'm telling you. Please, it's not a big deal. It just sort of came out. I wasn't thinking. Besides, he didn't seem like he was judging me. Or was he? Zuri said. Let me be honest. I'm your friend and I love you. But I judge you small, Sha. When you told me, Lara confessed. That hurts. Seriously, Zuri replied. I said small, calm down and let me explain. It's not that I'm best when it comes to saving or investing for that matter. But you have to be honest with yourself. We are grown women and this money stuff is important. Do you know how many people would queue for your salary? With what you earn, you have no business saying you have no money. It is irresponsible. I'm your friend, so it is my responsibility to tell you the truth. I know. I let it get out of hand, Zuri said. You don't have any excuses. You don't even have any real responsibilities. I look after my mother, I pay school fees for my brothers and sisters, and still put money aside to save towards the future. Admittedly, not as much as I would like, but at least it's something, Lara said. I'm really trying now, Sha, but I can't lie. It is hard trying to pinch pennies and cut out a lot of things. I feel deprived. Actually, let me be honest. Since I paid off my debt, it hasn't been easy to stick to the budget. In fact, Zazie had a sale last week and I went a little overboard with my spending. I felt so ashamed the next day, Zuri said. That's the problem, Lara said consolingly. Okay. You are going about it the wrong way. A budget is like a diet. If you start with an extreme diet and starve yourself, eventually you will binge and put on all the weight you lost in the first place. It was to be a lifestyle change. All this Excel spreadsheet you are trying to follow will cover you. Let me share something I learned a long time ago. Just keep it simple. How? Suri felt more than a little frustrated. There's nothing simple about saving. That's where you are wrong. You already know how much you need to survive with your spreadsheet. I divided my money into 3 different accounts. One for bills, another for long-term savings, and an account for when spoiling myself with a new bag or trip. As soon as my salary is paid, I transfer money to each account accordingly. To be honest, it became a habit. I don't think about it anymore. It just makes things easier, Lara said. That might actually work for me. It's funny how we have never talked about saving or investing. If we had this conversation a year ago, I'll probably not have gotten into trouble in the first place. Lara looked up to see a familiar face walking towards their table. Isn't that Tammy? Lara said. Oh, I forgot to mention that she was joining us, Zuri replied. She called right after you did, and when I told her we're having dinner here, she invited herself. You know she's obsessed with the cocktail here. Who isn't? Lara laughed. Hey ladies. Mwah. Tammy threw kisses at both. Tammy threw kisses at both her friends and settled into a chair. Zuri took in Tammy's outfit. It was pink. It was a pink fitted dress with a white collar and what looked like this season's selling box bag. This dress is nice. So where is it from? It's a TNL dress. I got it from Zazie. I love that place. They have so many affordable Nigerian brands. Oh, this lady has hyped Zazie throughout this book. Like, oh, I beg. I just spent a fortune there on their sales and it wasn't very affordable. See this one, Ara laughed. It's because your eyes will never see the ones that are affordable. Didn't you find any Lady Bieber or Adi Shole dress there? All reasonably priced with great value. Leave me, Joe, Zuri said. Lara laughed. Meanwhile, Tammy, when did you get the selling bag? It's new, Abby. Please, have you guys discovered a new bag connect? Have you guys discovered a new bag connect? Hook me up now. Because this thing is not cheap and every fashion girl on Instagram seemed to have it. I had lunch with Adesua last weekend and she just got the water snake version and she claimed it was a gift from Soji. I suspect it was retail therapy from her pocket to make herself feel better because of Soji's stress. Air quotes. Who be fool? We all know that Soji ain't got it like that. I don't get why she bothers lying. Tammy and Zuribo busted out laughing. Man, I tire oh. We all know she is the breadwinner. Why does she bother making up all these stories? Zuri said. Don't we see this everywhere? Most female breadwinners don't own up to the fact that they are the ones that are looking after their families. Even when they clearly earn more than their husbands, they keep up with this charade that it's their husband looking after them. There's this woman in my office. She bought herself a car last month and then started telling everybody that her husband bought it for her. Like, why though? What's the point? If you ask Adeswa, she'll say it is wisdom, Tammy replied. And if you talk too much, she'll say you don't understand because you are not married. But personally, I don't subscribe to that kind of arrangement. My own bag is a gift from one of my new toasters, Uchenna. I saw it on Instagram and DM'd him the picture to say that this was my new obsession. He brought it back from his trip to London. This one has potentials. You're not serious. Lara laughed. Ha, I'm very serious. So this is the type of husband I'm looking for, Tammy said matter-of-factly. The type that can offer me financial security. Not these boy men that will be expecting you to work so they can feed off you. I'm not about that life, I beg. When I become someone's wife, I shouldn't have to work because I need to. I fully expect to work only because I want to have something to do. Lara shook her head. How are we friends? I'm honestly confused because I don't understand how you guys think about money. This one is broke. She pointed to Zuri. And this one is working hard only to allow her useless husband to mush off her and spend her money chasing girls up and down Lagos. Lara raised her eyebrow at Tammy's direction. You are waiting for a rich husband to provide financial security, Abby. Listen, society and culture sells young African girls the lie that marriage is the financial security that they aspire to. Please open your eyes. You have to learn to get yours. There are many women with rich husbands and no independence, either because their husbands are stingy or too controlling. Besides, what happens if he leaves you or dies? What then? You end being of those women who allow themselves to be lured into a false sense of security, and then something happens to their marriage or husband. I'm already reading rubbish. And then something happens to their marriage or their husband dies and they wake up at 40 years old not having a clue how to earn. Story. Tammy laughed. So now you want to marry a poor man, Abby? Lara hissed. See, you're missing my point. I'm not saying I don't want a rich husband. I have my own goals and dreams, and I would like to be able to bring value to the marriage and not depend solely on the man for my bread and butter. Tammy, be there talking nonsense. Lara is teaching you how to budget, and you should probably bring out your pen and paper and come and learn too. I was just saying to Lara that we never have conversations about money unless it involves spending on food, fashion, and flying. They all laugh. But seriously, guys, we need to talk. We need to start having more conversations about our goals and dreams, and the money that will help us fund it, Lara said. Smart money lessons. Develop a sustainable budget. One of the biggest issues people complain about when it comes to money is not knowing how to save or budget. People associate the word budget with scarcity or a reduction of station of life. Therefore, budget is a word that they come to resent. The reality is a budget is something that tells you how to allocate your resources, and it should reflect what you value. So if I looked at your bank statement, what it reflects that you are spending on is the things you love, or would it be a reflection of the fact that you don't spend intentionally and allow your money to be pulled in different directions? The reason most people live paycheck to paycheck is because they don't have a full understanding of what their income can support. Money is in the bank is equal to spending. It doesn't matter whether you earn 10 million or 10,000 naira a month. Your resources are limited and consumption tends to rise with income. So it's important to have a spending plan that takes that into consideration. So here is a trick for guilt-free spending. The smart money budget. I know the idea of a budget makes most people nervous, but it shouldn't, because if it's easy and reflects the things you love. The smart money budget is I'm reading rubbish. The smart money budget is a way of allocating your resources. First, divide your income into 3 parts: long-term financial goals, short-term financial goals, and living expenses. 1. Long-term financial goals. At a minimum of 20% of your income, it represents a proportion set aside towards improving your net worth, buying assets that will provide you with an income. Good examples are towards purchases like land, property, or stock portfolio. 2. Short-term financial goals. The proportion of your income set aside for treats, a Chanel bag, iPhone, or a luxury holiday, whatever tickles your fancy. 3. Living expenses. Your monthly contribution to your rent, health insurance, cable, satellite, television, petrol, service charge, etc. Here are 2 examples of how differing income might look distributing a salary. Lara, monthly income 3 million, LFG 20% 600,000, SFG 10% 300,000, living expenses 70% 2.1 million. Zuri, monthly income 600,000, LFG 20% 120,000, SFG 10% 60,000, living expenses 70% for 20,000. Exercise. Organize your money. Create buckets for different goals. 1. An account for emergencies, because you never know when your car is going to break down. 2. A turn-up account, because we work hard, so we deserve to play hard. Otherwise, you'll be setting yourself up for overspending, which will jeopardize your financial freedom in the long term. 3. An account for rent, because it's easy to procrastinate and wait 3 or 4 months before the gbese is due and then start panicking and borrowing. It's always better to have an account dedicated to this when you put aside systematically each month. 4. An investment account, because there's no point in working hard year after year, earning 3 million naira a year, spending it all, then your net worth is 150,000. It's best to systematically put aside a proportion of your salary towards building assets that will earn you an income. 5. An account for bills, because Nigeria is expensive. This covers food, domestic staff salaries, transportation costs, etc. Sorry, I had to read fast towards the end of this chapter because it's getting to 30 minutes and my limit per post in uploading is 30 minutes. So yes. doing edit. So bye. Please like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe to my channel. See you in chapter 8.